I hope you're enjoying Necromancy, RuneScape's latest combat skill. I've been playing a decent amount, not going super try hard, but I'm 87 going through it, making my way to 120. I'm having a blast as I do. Hopefully the journey has been as fun or even more for you than it was for me. That said, Jagex is making it a point this week and the entirety of the month to work closely with the players to further shape the skill based on our feedback. Before we get into that, one quick announcement. Prime Gaming is right around the corner, this time containing an Umbral chest and a currency pack, containing 35 keys and 200 rune coins. You can collect this August 15th, tomorrow, at your regular Prime Gaming means. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video so far, please hit that like button. If you're not subscribed yet and you'd like to stay up to date on all things RuneScape related, then hit that subscribe button. Thank you. We're going to now shift on over to the patch notes and see what's been changed with today's update, exclusively focusing on Necromancy with hotfixes and general changes alike. Starting off with the hotfixes, when depleted and relogging, the multiply 1 glyph should no longer work until it has been repaired. Unpowered necromantic seals will now drop as expected during the tier 90 equipment upgrade task for those with maximum reputation. The Kalzuk can now be killed in hard mode as intended. Tweak the amount of XP gained from ritual random events. This update was added on Wednesday, August 9th. Necromancer's Tome of Experience are no longer deposited inside the ritual chest, they instead go directly into your inventory or the floor. Cap the types of random events that can spawn for tier 1, 2, and 3 rituals. The Praisal Codex no longer gets removed from the player's inventory if they select cancel when unlocking prayers. The broadcast regarding the maximum virtual level now includes Necromancy. The Bone Crusher will now crush all selected bone types. The Anku, that drops the Anku residue, will no longer reward XP when killed. The Hardened Kalzuk Cape is no longer lost on death. The animated drumsticks from Herald have had their drop rate tweaked in order to give it a higher drop chance the more boss kills you have. The 200 mil XP in all skills broadcast no longer ignores Necromancy. Raziel is now poison immune. Ghost Wall now deals damage when a player is hit by the ability. Fix double dragon chests from giving out last wills, instead exchange them for oddments. Fixed an issue that prevented some players from having a chance at getting Necromancer's flippers if they clicked out of the dialogue with Keely. Fixed an issue that prevented affected players from being able to complete the Tome of the Warlock quest as they could not hand in all 4 books. Eating a ghostly soul no longer causes an error message. Divine locations and fires can no longer be placed down within the City of Lum ritual site. Challenge gems can also no longer be placed at the ritual site. Telos' Fragment of Anima will now drop at your feet, and added in a watch cutscene or skip cutscene option when entering the City of Lum for players who are experiencing long wait times via a black screen. Moving on to some general changes to Necromancy, you can no longer teleport while sitting on a bench, and can no longer wear a bedsheet while sitting on a bench. XP lamps awarded after completing City of Lum area tasks can now be used on the Necromancy skill. Players that have already claimed their rewards can reclaim the lamps by speaking to a task master. A pop-up will now appear after leveling to level 30 Necromancy explaining alteration glyphs, and at level 60 explaining larger ritual sites. When hovering over the input items in the ritual selection interface, a tooltip will now display the amount you have in your focus storage and in your backpack. If you have none of the same focus object left, the highest tier focus object will now be placed on the pedestal after finishing a ritual rather than the lowest. A new Necromancy gameplay setting option has been added which will allow ritual output to be sent to the focus storage rather than the ritual chest. Equipment upgrade boss drops are now correctly rewarded to party members who do Necromancy damage to the required bosses. Glyphs are no longer changing to uncovered state after tutorial dialogue to clean them, allowing players to dust mounds and progress. Additionally, previously affected mounds are reset after tutorial dialogue to dusty state. A message is now output in the chat box when a focus object is used from a focus storage, when a focus object is removed from the pedestal, and when a ritual is completed detailing the rewards. Equipment upgrade screen now defaults to highest incomplete tier. If upgrading to tier 70 or more, it will default to power if unlocked. The living death ability now works with dive and bladed dive. When cooking ghost soul, it now correctly cycles through all ghost soul in the player's inventory. Using Nettie's death certificate and will on a ghost banker tells the player that they've banked it, and the quest journal mentions it as well. Typos in Keely Row and that old black magic dialogue have been fixed. The Spirit of War will now appear in the quest list as Spirit of War the in order to be consistent with other quests. The spacebar will now consistently work to select a ritual in the ritual selection interface. The Dragonfire Shield Necromancy will now correctly augment into an augmented version. Reapply the damage buff from stat boosting. This will apply for all styles excluding Necromancy, whilst the team looks at a more elegant replacement for the system. This includes overloads. Raziel's equipment will now be correctly augmented when using augmenters. Players using Legacy Combat mode who logged in after Necromancy went live did not have Legacy mode hit splats shown during combat. This is now fixed. Placing a Conjure ability at the start of your Revolution bar will no longer prevent other abilities on your bar from being triggered. Once Upon a Time in Gielinor Quest Scarecrow spot has been moved for better player access. Omen is now recognized for Jack of Blades to be completed and Master of All. My Zombie Can Beat Up Your Zombie achievement from the City of medium task set has now been changed to My Undead Can Beat Your Undead, and the requirements for completing it have been updated. My Skeleton Can Beat Up Your Skeleton and My Undead Can Beat Up Your Undead City of area task achievements are now easier to complete for high level players. Listless Dead NPC moved to be more accessible by the players. Keely will now prompt the player to check their ritual chest if they have already insold her tools. She will no longer let you reclaim the inert necromantic crystal if you already gained the pulsing onyx, as well as the Anku agitator if you already gained the Anku residue. Duplicate skill guide entries for the regular and greater ritual candles have been combined into one. Bone Shield was overriding the shield level for the skill Barricade. The skill now has the correct duration. Attacking rock slugs with a conjure summoned will no longer instantly despawn your conjure. All methods of healing have reduced effectiveness by 25% when holding black crystal, reducing healing. A message will now appear in the player chat box when a ritual disturbance spawns. Fixed an issue where cutscene playback would freeze if there were no audio outputs available, and lastly, fixed an issue causing Aurora die and the Aura, Boar, and Paralysis pets to appear as a solid color. That is it for your patch notes. Links to everything discussed in this video will be down in the description below. Check them out if you wish to do so. If you missed last week's video, it'll be on screen now. So let's check it out. Looking forward to seeing you there. If not, I'll see you at the next RuneScape news update video here on the channel. Looking forward to seeing you there. And with that, I'm out. Aloha.